Do you want to become an Ironman or Iron Woman in real estate? This is the call for you. I am going to be interviewing Donika Parker. She's a top 5% realtor in Atlanta, Georgia. It is a friend of mine, and I am just so excited for her to share how simple real estate can be, because I feel like she's one of those that makes it look simple and easy, because she loves just building community and touching her sphere and make sure everybody knows that they're loved and cared for. And this is what is have been helping her with her business in so many years. So stay tuned and let's go to this amazing interview today. Hey everybody, as I shared this amazing introduction of not only I said this is like a top realtor, but I am so excited to also call Donika a friend, because that's what we became through the years here, being part of the same group, the same organization, even though we only see each other maybe once a year on the big events, but still we're super connected. We together alongside a few others, we help with our weekly ladies call, and just being a leader and helping other women. So I know we're super passionate about that. But Donika, thank you so much for being here today. I am so thrilled to have you, my friend.
Thank you, Amanda. Likewise, I'm very excited to be sharing this time with you today, and thank you for inviting me. And we did see each other twice. We already saw each other once when you stopped by at the airport.
I know.
Awesome. And so looking forward to seeing you again soon.
I know, next month. Can't wait. Well, I did share about you're a little bit of high level of the amazing accomplishments that you have, done so far in your real estate career. But let's take a little step back. Let's get Donika on a more intimate basis. If you don't mind sharing, what were you doing before real estate and what even got you into doing real estate? And then we can go on and talk more about where you're at today.
So really, I've done real estate for almost all of my working life. I'm an immigrant from Bulgaria, but I came to the United States a long time ago. It's been already 24 years. So really a good part of my adult life has been spent here and as a real estate agent. However, initially I was teaching English as a second language because that's what my degree is in. And I did enjoy it, of course. And I got into real estate it was without any, not by design. It was just a suggestion. Why don't you get your real estate license? Because I was also working, I was working 2-3 jobs. And the builder that I was working with, in his office, he said, why don't you get your real estate license? And I found out what the requirements are. I was fresh out of college, and just a 2-month course? Of course. And I took the exam and I started working. Alongside that job, I started also working. I was teaching English, so part-time for 4 hours every day. And I also started working with one of his clients that was selling one of his subdivisions. So I kind of got into real estate without knowing what it involves, without having any sales experience. Naturally, I'm not like 100% like a hardcore salesperson, right? So in general, but you kind of learn things a little bit. And I did like the fact that there was no limit in real estate of your potential. And that is really the thing that attracted me the most, because obviously it was very, even in those times, like back in 2008, things were, obviously that was the harder times that came right after I was licensed, but it was very dynamic. I was able to start forming relationships, and the days were not very much alike. I found that there is really unlimited potential. And that's what, even when the hard times came through the crash in 2008, I still didn't want to give up real estate, because I said, there's just no limit to what you can do if you put yourself to it. I didn't know what to do after that, right? Like, I don't know what to put myself to, because I had I was on a team, and I didn't have to look for my own clients and all that. But in the end, I stayed and persisted, and it's been a wonderful career that I recommend to everyone, really. So yeah, that's the long answer.
No, no, and that's amazing because, as you shared, I feel like, I also personally, when I thought about real estate, actually, I was so fearful because I was just like, I don't want to sell anything. That's not my background. Even though, like, I kind of did a little bit of that, but I didn't have a title of salesperson. So just talking with people and, getting new clients or making sure my clients were happy on the tech industry side, it just felt natural. So a lot of it, I feel like it was definitely my mindset of just what you think and the perception of it is. And obviously there are, people that have a sales background or come from like sales, a salesman of like selling cars, and then they transition to real estate. So they do have some of that, experience. But I understand what you're saying, was the same thing for me. And then but there was definitely at least in my mind, a lot of self-sabotage in the beginning because I knew I was capable, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want anybody to feel pressure every time they see me. And I'm like, want to buy from me? Do you want to sell from me? So can you talk? I know you've been in the business for a long time and you went through the ups and downs of real estate, but how did it help, working on your mindset? Just, you went through a lot. Like, I know we've been talking, I only been in the real estate for the last 4 years. And I kind of started when the big wave of like, anybody could sell anything. And it's still been great. But like, if you just don't mind sharing for you, like, did you have to work through mindset? Do you still do? Like, how does that goes for you?
I absolutely have to work through mindset, and my mindset has been a work in progress 100%. It wasn't some kind of magic or being this tough persona where I could get over everything easily or get through. It's very normal, especially when you don't know an industry. You're in business for yourself. Nobody can tell you what to do. You have to figure everything out. And one day you're here, another day you're here. And the thing is that you have to be able to cope with that. And there's a lot more than, yeah, I know we started talking about sales, but we both know there's so much more that goes into this business, this career. So I had to work on myself, especially with being careful about the words that I use, being careful about my thoughts. Am I going into the negative? Am I complaining about things? Am I sharing my crazy stories in real estate? Because the more crazy stories you share, the more of those you get, or the more you complain, the more of that you get. So this was one of the first things to really toughen up, change my thoughts, and start being more positive. And then the other thing is just to take responsibility of the things that you're doing. If something happens, especially with clients, like obviously it's always easy to say, oh, this client didn't, he was going to work with me and then he backstabbed me or something like that, right? I don't even use these words anywhere. Even on social media, I never want that kind of thought or vibe to come from me. But it's very easy to say that when we have to look towards us and say, did I do anything to allow this to happen to me? To allow, did I sign a contract with that client? I treated that client as family, but he turned around and went with another realtor. Professionally, I did a lot. Personally, I did a lot. That person turned around, went with another realtor. What did I do wrong? I didn't sign the contract before I started doing all these favors, all this work, right? So it's kind of, you have to look at yourself. But these two things, I think, with mindset are very important to keep us going forward. And of course, people you're surrounded, what they tell you, right? Like, how are they, what are you listening? What are you hearing from them? How are they approaching difficulties, hardships, and all that? So, these things are so important in our career.
No, I definitely agree with you. I think in general, I always, would say I am a positive person. That's kind of how, at least I try to look on the brighter side of things, even when things are hard. But I feel like, in real estate, it brought into a whole new level of perspective because, I was kind of doing that. And I don't know, I think I was a magnet for people to come and tell me their problems. Maybe I would say I was a good listener. I am a good listener, but at the same time, um, but I was just getting surrounded too much with that, right? And it's not that it's a bad thing, but I think it's a bad thing when the same person is coming back and repeating the same thing. The story is not changing year after year, right? And then all of a sudden you feel like you're starting to think that way. So like your surroundings is so important. I definitely had a lot of pruning to do the last few years. Still friends with people, but it's different who's a little bit closer versus like I just see you at an event versus you are in my life all the time and your voice is loud. So I definitely take note to that, guys, because it's so critical. So, okay, now let's just kind of talk a little bit about your business. Like I know you've been doing that for a while. You're in Atlanta. Have you been in Atlanta as a realtor the entire time, or did you start it in a different state?
It's always been Atlanta. Yes,
Wow.
license anywhere else I could, but I focus on Atlanta because that's where I can do my best for now. So yes.
No, that's great. I mean, like, it's working well for you. You're a top producer, not only inside EXP, but also in Atlanta, which is amazing. So where you think you're focusing mostly like these days? Like, are you working more with buyers, with sellers? It's a mix.
So naturally, at first I did work with buyers. It was just easier for me to get buyers, as it doesn't have to be that way, but that's how it happened. And as I accumulated buyers as clients, obviously those buyers started recommending me to their friends that may be selling, or those buyers started to sell as well. So through personal referrals and through my repeat clients that started selling, I gradually shifted from more of our maybe 80% buyer, 20% listing. And then I gradually shifted to 50-50. And even in the last couple of years, it's been maybe 70-30, 70 listings, 30 buyers. That's how it shifted. It kind of naturally, and then I improved myself with listings as well, and especially through those referrals, right? So that's how it happened. But I work with both. I feel very comfortable and working with both sides.
And that's amazing because, obviously, I don't know, maybe you heard this. I've heard this in like different trainings or, just people saying pretty much like you need to be a listing agent, otherwise you're not gonna last in this business. And sometimes people are just like, how do you even get started, right? And sometimes I don't know if you're not maybe doing some, cold calling for listings or some door knocking, obviously you can do social media, which builds with time. But I think you touch on something important. I think that you're just showing value from the beginning, even if you're helping those buyers. And I think you do a good job like of keeping your sphere, connected with them and being a resource so that even years later, when they're ready to sell, they're going to be thinking about you. So can you talk about like any strategy that you use today with your sphere? Because I know you're really good about that. You do a magazine. I mean, like you do so many things, but if you can just touch in some of the things that today help you stay top of mind with your clients.
Right, and absolutely, that's the important thing too. First, you have to get the clients, and again, I didn't want to do cold calls. I didn't come from a culture like that, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's so many people that have done so well with that. I just didn't want to do it. Didn't feel like doing it. Didn't want to learn scripts. They didn't come naturally to me. I may have done. So I thought that something else is very natural to me if I am just always of service, of value, and people see my professionalism. But of course, you have to show it somehow, right? Like, how would people see you? And one of the first ways was to actually try to be out in front of people so that they can get to know me. That was one of the first things, whether it's going to be parties, hobbies. I'm a big triathlon person, so that's one of the things, and I'll touch on that as well. But that was first one of the things. Okay, am I best when you meet me in person? Do you like my energy? Do you like to be around me? Then that's the first step. And then the second step is, how would you know I'm a good real estate agent? That's when you always talk about real estate without, at least that's how I did it, without asking people to recommend you or if they're buying or selling, but I do, share an experience, share maybe how I've helped a client, without boasting too much or anything like that. But basically I do share my experience, and then obviously social, that's very important, because everything that you do professionally could be on your social media, especially now with stories that have been so popular in the last few years, that people will get to know you. So once they like you, they see what you do as a professional, they trust you, word starts getting around about you in the community. We have a very strong Bulgarian community, and these are not only my clients. I don't only work with Bulgarians, right? But of course, being tied with the Bulgarian School of Atlanta here, and with my community, word travels as well. And then early, and I still do it early, I wanted for people to remember me and to know who I am, because it's so easy to forget. Nobody thinks about me if I don't remind them. So at that time, I was big on Facebook, and I would really literally go, it was a schedule, every 2 days, I would go through a list of 500-600 people to see what they're posting and what's happening in their lives. And because Facebook now can show you things that happened maybe even 2 weeks ago, or 3 days ago or a week ago. But in those times, I'm thinking, if I don't go there as soon as they post, people will think I'm stalking them. How would I post on something that they posted? I'm congratulating them on, some achievement, their son's karate belt, a new, black belt. And, I don't know if kids get black belts, but anyway, new achievement in karate, for example. And then that happened like a week ago. So, at that time, so I said, okay, I've got to do it every 2 days. That's not too late. I have to see what's happening with people. I want them to know I'm paying attention. And that's really, I did that. That was my prospecting. It wasn't calls, it was connecting with people. And I did want to connect in a meaningful way. So, I'm not going to just place an emoji. I'm going to say, congratulations, your son has grown so much. And there's no lies. Okay. I'm not going to pretend. I'm just going to say something nice that I see. That's all. Don't keep it for yourself. Even in person, say everything nice that you see about the person. Be nice, because who doesn't like to get a compliment? I love to get a compliment. I love people to pay attention to me. They notice something about me, and of course I like it. So say it to people, create a positive attitude. Like a positive relationship. And if they want to do business with me, they will. I'm not forcing anyone. If they like me, if they see me as a professional and they trust me, they will come to me. But I have to do something about it. It's not some random sphere of influence. No, it's very intentional, and like you're prospecting. If you're gonna do 1 hour a day in the morning, this commenting things is actually really easy. You can do it any time of the day, right? Because people will see the comment at one point, and especially now, and you can do it with all your people on Instagram. You can do it with all your people on Facebook. If you're in sphere of influence, you can make sure that when you're in a crowd, I'm not a crowd, I mean like crowd, like a people that gathering. Make sure people notice you. Even people that know you, go talk to them. If you don't know somebody, maybe pay attention. This person does not know me. Who is that person? Maybe a potential client. All your real estate antenna has to be up. And all I want is for people to know me and for me to be present in front of them. Then they will decide if I'm worthy of their business. And that's been my strategy. Long story short.
No. And I think that's great, because I'm with you. Like, I think I door knocked once my neighborhood to give some cookies, and it was like horrific. And I still have things that I was supposed to do another round, and I haven't done it. And I tried calling, and it just feels so forceful. And again, I know a lot of people that does it, and I think the whole thing is, I think everything works. It's just the consistency, as you shared, and be intentional, right? Even if you're doing the social media with the messaging, then you need to be intentional and consistent, especially because it can be a major distraction, right? Because you're just there, then you can be like seeing this, before you know, you're watching, cat videos and dog videos and, cute little things or funny things. And then you went away from your intention. But I love, I mean, like, we have so many tools today, and social media is a huge tool today as far as, connecting with people. People love to post whatever is going on in their lives, right? So it's right there, it's showing to you. And I think you do great with that as well with the events. I always see on your page, you go to a new restaurants or a coffee shop, you're posting about it, or different things that people can do. And you're already doing that anyways, right? So you're just kind of extending that, showcasing that location, giving a little shout out to the, to that business, which I'm sure they love it. And then now, you're building relationships, which I think you're great about that. And well, by the way, I did notice, and I didn't say this early on, I don't know if you just got your hair done, but you look beautiful, and I love the color.
So much.
It looks refreshed. As I said, I didn't see you for a week, and then I'm like, something's new about Donika. What is it? I think it's her hair.
It's I've got to, depending on how I maintain it, sometimes it looks different. It's not my natural, right? But at this point, I'm, having fun with, doing something different.
I love it.
Thank you. Encouragement always goes a long way. So a nice word never gets unnoticed,
Yep.
and you don't even know how much it could mean to someone. Like, I run on a course, and I'm having a hard time, and somebody says something and it lifts you up. You're strong in your running. You don't need any encouragement, but somebody comes and says, "You look so strong," and that gives you wings. So yes, the power of that
I agree, and be able just to accept it, right? Because I used to be like, whenever people, oh
yes,
no, it's okay,
yes.
no, like, they said it and took the time and just say thank you and just feel that energy. But yeah, so you're touching. So you're real estate, you're a mom, your wife, your friend, and then you have this whole triathlon that you're doing on the side as well, which you're amazing. How long have you been doing that? And kind of how did you add that in, like in the middle of like running a business and everything else you do?
Correct. So I have been a runner, really, I mean, for 15 years now, and then 5 of those have been spent. The last 5 have been really spent on more like triathlons, and I still do running races because that's my favorite part, and that's my passion, and that's where I beat everyone.
I love it.
It's funny to say that because people always say, "Oh, I hope you win." Like, there's no chance, okay? There are some, monsters there on the course that you just, can't beat them. But I've still been able to get, second, third place in my age group in smaller races, maybe first, because of the running, right? And that's what keeps me going. It's very important for me, so it always gets done. Right? So we don't have time. I don't have time to work out. Maybe if there ain't any physical limitations or anything, any circumstance that's really extreme in our life, it's just we don't find time. You have time to work out. It's not as important to you because it's just not that important to you, and you're always going to put it on the back burner, and it's not going to get done. It's going to get done for 1 week, and then it's not going to be done for 2 months, and it's just important to me, and it helps me get clients. I remember that I was going to touch on that. Why does it help me get clients, or anything like that you do when people work out, when they post it, or when they do things like that? People admire you for something hard that you do. That's not why I'm doing it, right? but people say they got inspired by you. People see you and they say, I should start doing that. Some people actually are close to start doing it and they want advice, and they start doing it because of you. So, and sometimes, triathlon is an expensive sport. Ironman, these are, but what happens is that people see you and they will translate your dedication and your ability to do hard stuff to how you do business and how you actually take care of your clients and how to take care of your business. So they see you as this tough person, full of energy, full of dedication, and they translate that into you being able to help buying and sell a property or anything else. So it does help me. It gives me a lot of energy. Runner's high is an absolute truth. And sometimes I need to tone myself down because this is too too happy, if I could say like that, too cheerful. Let's tone it down a little bit. It's my meditation as well for anyone. If you go out for even 20 minutes, could be walking, it doesn't have to be running, but if you do, and there are no people and no cars, and you're with yourself, that's your meditation, and it helps a lot as well. So it's a big part of my life. Makes me feel good, makes me feel strong, and helps me get clients too.
Hey, I mean, like I can totally see that. Like, I'm not a runner, and I think we already talked about this before. But I did have days that I was just feeling like, oh, something in me, and then I would just like, I don't know how to run, but I would just put my shoes and I would just, early in the morning go for a run. And I just felt so strong, and I just felt like the energy, especially because it's something I don't do often. I can or walk fast on the treadmill, but I usually, don't run, or maybe I just do some sprints here and there. But it is very empowering because, you're challenging your body, you're challenging your mental, and obviously you enjoy that, and you've been doing that for so long. So it definitely, I think, it shows a side of you to whoever is watching, the dedication, the efforts, the sacrifice, to be able to do that. What else more are you gonna do for your business and for your clients? So I totally agree with that. So like right now, what are some of the things that you're focusing on? Are you like, obviously top producer, been icon with EXP for 3 years in a row. Are you still kind of continue focusing on your production? Are you starting to grow a team? Like what is some of like maybe the next few steps for Donika and her business?
Yes, so I am in production. I am working with clients. I'm improving my processes as well, because I've realized that my strength is with personal relationships, and just being there for the clients, and having those referrals and everything else. So I want to be more personable. If I haven't done something, more attention, more special gestures, more gifts to my clients, right? So I'm still in production and trying to up my game, really, because as we know, we're in a group of agents, and we learn so much from each other. And I love that there are a lot of people that are better than me, because then we can learn more. And to that effect also, I do have I do have a team here in Atlanta, and I have one agent in Vegas as well. And I support them with everything that I know. And my job is to also create a culture. We do have a culture within our group, but at the same time, people are missing probably either production or culture, or both. And I think these are the things that really are important to people. I personally have a lot of social life, and I've never been needing to go to an office to meet people. I'm really great with our group, where we meet weekly online. I get all that energy, professional energy, personal, having made so many friends. But basically here, we've done a 5K I
Of
was thinking,
course.
of course, I was thinking I'll convert everybody into a runner. They did it once, and some people flat out said no more. But I still have the shirt. We all have our shirts. And we've done, charity events with our association. So just things, gatherings like for some Latin dancing and tapas, and just things that make people also feel connected and not feel alone, and having somebody always in their corner.
No, I love that. And, I know if you guys been watching here in the channel, we part of EXP, and then, the Wolfpack has transformed my life. Not even joking about that, not only about on the professional side, but really on the personal side as well. As I shared, like building amazing relationship with, that I don't think I would otherwise. And then now we have the beauty of having co-sponsorship. So if maybe you're watching and wondering, like, I am in Seattle, but I love Donika, or I am in Atlanta and I love what Amanda's doing. Well, with co-sponsorship, you can have both of us to be mentors and, and guide you through wherever you at, where you want to take your business. And, and we love helping, if you can tell or hear in our voice. So it's something that you can definitely do. All around the description in here, you're going to have Donika's information. So if there's any questions, go give her a follow and see what she's all about. And you can see what she's saying, she's doing it. And if there's anything that we can ever help, we'll love to partner up. And, what 30 minutes could be of having a conversation that truly can change your life in your business. So we're here for that. We're here for the long run, as Donika would say.
Yeah, totally.
Donika, I am so, so, so grateful for your time today and just coming here and sharing all that you're doing, your energy, your positivity. I couldn't have asked for a better Friday just to have this time with you and hear, your story and learn a little bit more about you. It's always a pleasure. If there's any last minute, like little note nugget that you want to share with someone that is watching, feel free to do that before we wrap up.
I just think that I have finally found a place, and for anybody that has been looking, I just encourage them to just explore it, right? Explore it, because I was a top producer at my brokerage and I left simply because I found a lot of culture. A lot of support between us as agents, and again, lots of personal relationships that really carry with you through your life. These could be my words of encouragement. Real estate is a huge place, that career, with so many niches and so many aspects, that you do need a strong group. You need a varied group where you could learn depending on what your style is.
Absolutely. And we have, strong producers in all the different, niches in here, which is amazing. And you get to learn and implement if that's what you want to do. Well, Donika, thanks again for being here today. I love you and can't wait to see you next month. But for now, thanks everybody for sticking around, watching. Make sure to subscribe and like so that you can see all the amazing interviews that we have upcoming. Thank you, Donika. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.